Rocket. Say hi. Are you full of puppy power this morning? Puppy power. Puppy power. Oh, puppy power. Puppy power. Oh, puppy power. Puppies. Yay. Okay. She says she's not ready.
The hat. It was the first hat I ever knitted. He needs a haircut.
It's true. I do need a haircut, but I think it's a fine hat. I've kept it all these years. All these years I've kept it, and I still wear it.
I did a terrible job.
It functions perfectly well.
Okay.
Okay, look, red and green.
You're ready for Christmas.
I'm in the Christmas spirit. Okay, so what's going on?
Nothing.
Oh, really?
What?
Nothing.
Are we supposed to banter?
Banter? I don't know. Well, you could also read questions.
I don't know.
Oh, why don't you read a question?
Okay. From YouTube Lee, question for next week. I saw that your Seiko 7002-700 was, I think that number was forgotten.
He meant the 7002-7009 that was on the website.
Oh, was sold on your website for $975. Why did it sell for so much? Most of these 7002s I see on eBay go for under $100 for modded ones and around $200 to $250 for original looking ones.
Well, there's a few things going on. First, that particular watch had a very rare, for the 7002s had a rare lume color instead of the gray, grayed out old Prometheum. It was one of the unusual ones that had sort of a white radium style lume that went, or tritium style, that went and turned a beautiful sort of tropic tan. It doesn't happen very often. Also, that watch was completely restored. So I went completely through the entire watch and I did everything. Full restoration, all seals, movement service, all repairs, crystal, one of our custom crystals. And whenever I sell a watch that I've serviced, I always factor in the amount of money, the pricing for servicing. The reason I do that is because a good amount of time ago, I didn't do that. I would look at a watch that I had fully rebuilt and fully serviced and say, yeah, I did all this work, but you know, I don't think the watch is worth that. So I would discount my own work without anybody even asking. And so I had this reputation for selling really nice watches at incredibly reasonable prices. Then there was one person, there were a number of people who would buy from me regularly. And there was one night when Sabrina was looking on Etsy. And
oh, I was like, ooh, I'm going to see if I can find something cool for him because he never looks at Etsy, and there was a Ripley.
I was like,
holy shit, a Ripley! Oh my god!
And it was one that I had rebuilt and that I had sold to one of these people who bought a ton of my stuff, and he had marked it up like 3 or 4 times. And I looked at, and it was his girlfriend's Etsy store, and he stocked that entire store with watches from me. And he marked them up a ton. And so I was, by pre-discounting my own labor, I was, and skill and all of my knowledge and everything, by basically cutting myself off at the knees, I was just, all I was doing was transferring that amount of money to somebody else. So I'm not going to do that anymore. Oh, there was also another instance where I serviced watches for somebody and sent them off, and they later wrote me and said, hey, I also need you to, can you do a service on this watch? And I said, sure, it's this much. And he's like, oh, I don't want to do that. It's too expensive. Okay. And then later on, this guy bought another model of that same watch that I had just serviced from me. And then he returned it to me. But it turns out that he had swapped the movements. So and then he was like, I got a free servicing for nothing. But, ooh, I got him back for that one. That was a long time ago. That was a long
How'd you get him back?
Well, I got him back because I basically destroyed him online, and a lot of people on the watch boards were like, because I was still active on the forums then. A lot of people on the watch boards really went after him. And
the moral of the story is don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Just, it's not hard to be nice. Don't steal from people.
No, me.
Okay, but anyway, that's why that watch cost that much, because I put so much work into it, and it was a rare model.
From Go Aztecs, yay, Sabrina, hello. You got the cutest smile and always brighten up the video. Thank you. You make the videos better than TGVs, and I love that guy. Hey, just wondering, are you guys into fountain pens?
I've certainly owned fountain pens when I used to write in my journal all the time when I was single and a drinker. I certainly was in fountain pens. I have one fountain pen left. It belonged to my grandfather. It's a gray tortoiseshell one, and the thingy-boo on the bladder on the inside has turned to like glass. It just shatters. But if you dip it in ink, it writes pretty nicely.
Also, what's the story on the awesome old radio?
This is my father collected radios. This is one of my father's radios. This is a Telefunken. It's probably, I think, made in the late 50s, early 60s. No. 1963, this one was made. It's a tube radio, shortwave. It has all the bells and whistles. Lovely sound. It works perfectly. I haven't fired it up for a while. It's warming up right now. It's got a little magic eye thing happening. Where am I?
Well, we can't have stuff on it in videos.
Yep, anyway.
Get in trouble.
But it works beautifully. It's a tube radio. We have another one from Dad that's like just like a, I don't know, it's really nice. But anyway, the one that's in Sebastian's room, but it needs to be repaired. In fact, if anybody knows anyone who does really high-end repair on these old tube radios, please let me know. Hey, my cousin builds tube amps. What if he could do it? Well, I don't know. It's not a bad idea. Anyway, Dad had a ton of radios. Like anything he collected, he had a lot of them. And
Boy, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I know. And Mom, after he died, Mom had some people coming over to the house to just take them all, and they were going to give her pennies on the dollar for them. And thankfully, for some reason, at the last minute, she decided to call me and said, "You need to come and choose some radios." And so I took a couple radios, but all the rest went away.
It's okay. Everything's fine.
No, I know.
Okay, one more. Can you do a brief timeline of GMT Master 2s? I bought one for my brother for helping pay for my undergrad work at SDSU and inherited another one. I can't tell them apart. My brother's is from 2001 and the inherited one appears nearly identical, but I don't know how to date it. The dial is slightly different, same bezel though. Thanks again for another awesome video.
The one thing that Rolex does very well that Seiko has never managed to figure out is that Rolex, when they have a winning formula, they stick with it. And so aside from like changes like when they went from the matte dials to the framed markers, it's pretty hard to tell a lot of these things apart. I mean, the more recent, the 6-digit generation like subs and stuff, they have the really thick new lugs, like big chunky things. But you know, if you look between the lugs on either one of the watches, you'll see the serial number, and then you just Google Rolex dating serial number, and you'll get an idea of when they were made. You say you have two of them, two GMT Masters. Well, if two is too many, if one is a better fit for you, please let me know. I would love to have a GMT. It's one of the Rolexes that's on my list that I'm thinking about. Was there anything else going on?
Yeah.
What?
Nothing. I'm holding a cat.
I know you're holding a cat.
I have a song in my head. So.
You do?
Yeah.
Anyway, are there more questions?
Yes, there are two more.
Oh, two more.
I feel like it's up too high. I'm like...
Really?
Or I'm having to go like...
No, you need to sit up like this. There you go.
Okay. From J. Co. Beautiful little pup. Spencer, can you help explain why my 6138 is being wonky? I keep the chrono running, but lately it will just stop. If I shut the chrono off, the watch runs spot on. Also, let me know if you'd like my Roman-style pizza recipe. I have actually never shared it, but yes, please.
So, yes, she wants the Roman-style recipe. I've been talking with this person about Roman recipe. The only Roman pizza recipe I've ever read was in my Eyewitness to History book, which is first-person historical accounts from back in the day, where pizza made in Rome, a pizza recipe, called for whole dormice, like a mouse.
I know, you've told me that like a million times.
I don't know why you'd put a whole dormouse on a recipe, on a pizza. But the only thing, so your chronograph is running with the chronograph stopped, but if you have the chronograph running, it doesn't really work. So something is dragging on the chronograph assembly somewhere. Either the hand is touching the underside of the crystal if it's bent up, or the operating levers are out of adjustment. There's an eccentric on this one that sort of changes how close they are. The gap between those blades as they come in when the chronograph is running, it has to be exactly the same. It can't be slim on one side and fat on the other. And you can adjust the hands in and out. That has to be done correctly. It could also... There are a number of different things, but it's usually bound down to an adjustment in that area, unless there's an actual physical problem.
Milo's been trying to talk to you.
What? Milo! Milo! Okay, what's the next question?
From Todd Shuck. Hey, Spencer, a quick question for your next video. For the Donnie, whatever, 7017 family of chronographs, should I run the chrono all the time, like the 6139 movements? I hope the new puppy is working great for you. Peace, Todd.
The 7000 series Danny chronographs have a much more sturdy chronograph wheel. The 6138s and 6139s, the spring that they've got is like it's almost an interlock like a universal joint. It kind of looks like that, even though it's not really a joint. It's just a stamped spring, but it only contacts on 2 points on the outside and 2 points on the inside, and it's like this. The Danny chronographs have a 6-finger flat spring, and so it's like hands with fingers are all the way around, and it's much stronger. And I don't have any fear of those, really. I think I've only ever seen one of those chronograph wheels go bad. So it's a much stronger design. I wouldn't have any problem stopping it. I don't know. Honestly, between us, I actually have been keeping my SUA chronographs. I've been keeping them stopped. It just visually it bothers me, and so I just tell myself, well, as long as I'm just keeping it in one state or the other, then it's fine. I don't wear them very often anyway, but anyway, I just think they look a little leaner when they're not being a chronograph, so that makes the chronograph special. Anyway, that's it. Well,
I thought I'd give an update on Rocket, who's being taken outside by Sadie because she's paying attention. Yay!
Yay.
He is still learning how to go potty. We had Pongo, we got him as an adult, and he was already housebroken, so this is a learning experience for everybody involved, including the dog. He's getting better.
He's getting better. He's a super nice dog.
Yes. I taught him how to come when I call his name. I tried to teach him how to sit, but I think he's too little, and he didn't really understand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but he's happy.
He's happy. I mean, we miss Pongo, and it was a little surreal to have another small black dog slot into that spot, but, you know, it's... Pongo was a challenging dog, and we loved him very, very much. And I think it would have been a lot harder, especially on the kids, if all of a sudden there was just no dog, and Sabrina was heartbroken.
Yeah, when I went to adopt Rocket at Petco, I was just crying.
Just standing there crying, she said.
Yeah, I was just crying.
Just crying. But he's been wonderful for us. Little Rocket is great, and we honor and miss Pongo a lot, and we did everything for him we could.
Is there something else I was going to say about the dog? I have a cat. What up, fatty?
I don't think so. It's Friday.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry too. It's time for us to make dinner. Okay. All right. Well, man, I'll say what I say every week. I'll try to get a Friday, a week odds and ends video. I have something fun. I'm building a medieval type sword from scratch, and that's pretty fun. Maybe I'll talk about that. Okay. Bye-bye.